Welcome back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Hezbollah's top leader, Hassan Nasrallah, is dead. He died in a targeted Israeli airstrike on the headquarters of the Hezbollah located deep within the suburbs of its capital, Beirut. In a detailed statement, the IDF says that Nasrallah, who led the Hezbollah for over 3 decades, will no longer be able to terrorize the world. The operation to kill the Hezbollah chief was codenamed Operation New Order. The IDF has also shared images and a video of what was really going on in the command center in Israel during the big airstrike on Hezbollah. In its statement, Israel has also called Nasrallah a threat to Israeli citizens and said that this operation is not the end of its toolbox, but just the beginning. Let's quickly listen in to a few responses that have come in from the Israeli side, talking more of the significance of what has happened.
זה לא סוף ארגז הכלים, זה צריך להיות מאוד ברור. יש עוד כלים קדימה ללכת, והמסר הוא מסר פשוט, מי שמאיים על אזרחי מדינת ישראל נדע להגיע בצפון, בדרום, גם במקומות יותר רחוקים.
As part of the extensive aerial operation to degrade Hezbollah's terrorist infrastructure and capabilities, we are preparing to conduct strikes on strategic assets that Hezbollah has hidden underground beneath 3 buildings in the heart of the Dakhia in Beirut. In the heart of the Dakhia in Beirut, Hezbollah constructed 3 buildings with designated underground spaces for storing strategic weapons, with the buildings above acting as a shield. Here you can see one of the buildings in the heart of the Dakhia. In the last hour, we have contacted the residents of the 3 buildings in the Dakhia. These residents are above and near Hezbollah strategic assets and must evacuate immediately for their safety and security. Residents of the following buildings in the Hadath neighborhood, building complex A Salam, A Lilki neighborhood, building Munir Shadid, and in the El Haddad neighborhood, building Shith, must move as far away from the buildings as possible before the strike. In a short time, we will attack the weapons stored beneath the buildings. The explosion, because of the missiles, may damage the structure and could potentially cause them to collapse. Hezbollah exploits and endangers Lebanese civilians, using them as a human shield for its weapons.
A few hours ago, the Israeli Defense Force has confirmed the elimination of Hassan Nasrallah. Along with him were Ali Kalki and many other Hezbollah high-ranked officials, people with lots of blood in their hands. This is not the last of the tools in the IDF's toolbox. Those who threaten Israeli civilians will be found and eliminated, whether it's near or far. Just as we were prepared for this precise attack, we're prepared for many other scenarios.
And hours after that big announcement coming in from Israel about the Hezbollah, we've also seen Hezbollah confirming the death of its chief. In its statement, the group vowed to continue its war against Israel and in support of Gaza and Palestine. The Hamas too has issued a statement, and they say that the killing of Hassan Nasrallah will only strengthen the resistance. In the meantime, Iran has also slipped into a huddle in the wake of Hassan Nasrallah's killing. Immediately after this confirmation, it called for an urgent meeting of the leaders of the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation, or the OIC member states, to discuss Lebanon and Palestine. Sources also say that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was shifted to a secure location overnight. The Iranian leader also has released a statement online accusing Israel of killing defenseless civilians and calling Israel's policies, quote-unquote, insane. So that's how the story has panned out. But what is it that we must be bracing ourselves for in the next few days? How should New Delhi be looking at the entire situation? I have 2 very definitive and affirmative voices, remember, to talk on the entire issue. Abhijit Iyer Mitra is a senior fellow at the IPCS. Abhijit, thank you for your time, and also a pleasure to say good evening to Daniel Carmon, the former Israeli ambassador to India. Daniel, let's begin by asking you, how do you see what has happened in the last few hours? This crisis in West Asia is about to escalate. What should we be bracing ourselves for?
Well, good evening, and it's really good to be here. Thank you for inviting me We're talking about the last few hours, which is really the peak of that week that we have witnessed, a week in which at the end of almost a year of firing, Hezbollah has been relentlessly attacking the state of Israel without any provocation, trying to link the front on the north, Hezbollah in Lebanon, with the front in the south. When I don't have to remind you of what happened in October 7th with the attack of Hamas and the war that ensued. So what has happened? The Hezbollah leadership and the Hezbollah activity, which was launching of thousands of rockets to the northern part of Israel, with tens of thousands of Israelis displaced and cannot go back to their homes. Enough is enough. And this week we have seen the response, a strong, forceful response by Israel. I have to mention something. You quoted the Israeli official saying, the Israeli Defense Forces spokesperson talking about giving advertisement to the citizens. This has been going on during this whole week, and this is really an unprecedented measure to tell the citizens who are living in places where Hezbollah has hidden missiles and ammunition, go away from harm's way. This is an unprecedented way of telling the innocent citizens not to be where the terrorists are. We've been talking for 30 years or even more about the fact that Hezbollah has practically occupied southern Lebanon. We have seen two wars between Israel and Hezbollah on Lebanese territory, where Israel was responding to the terrorist attacks. And this is not an all-out war yet, but this is definitely hostilities that should be watched very carefully.
Absolutely. I think Daniel has given a very well-rounded view, Abhijit, of what really to expect and how the last few hours have panned out. Now, because time is limited, I want you to touch on three important issues. Has it now been established, Abhijit, that Mossad has been able to penetrate deep into the Hezbollah? This perhaps is the clearest giveaway. The other thing people want to know about Iran, will Iran still be using its proxies, or will we see Iran coming in the forefront, getting into this war, Abhijit? And what should New Delhi be doing right now?
Thank you. See, the thing is, we need to understand, none of these attacks would have been carried out had it not been for a deep human intelligence penetration of Hezbollah. The idea that every time Israel got more high-tech, Hezbollah should go low-tech in order to overcome their hacking abilities and things. This itself was an idea that was planted through a lot of Israeli publications and things like that in Hezbollah's mind. The second is, the kind of intelligence we've seen, the meeting of the Radwan force in the bunker, the meeting of the entire Hezbollah leadership yesterday in that bunker deep in Dahieh. All of these are based on human intelligence cues, because the top leadership does not carry electronic devices and things. You needed to have human assets somewhere inside the organization. Otherwise, these kind of decapitation strikes are virtually impossible. So they have been compromised from very, very deep within. And the thing is, the sheer tactical genius in all of this is, learning not to use a source just for anything, to combine them all together to create maximum impact when you can. And that is, the real genius of this plan. Number one. Your second question, Iran. See, their biggest proxy in the area was Hezbollah. And we need to understand Hezbollah, really, it may have started off defending Lebanon against Israel, but Israel withdrew from Lebanon. what is there to protect? As per UN Security Council resolutions and Lebanese law, militias can only exist in Lebanon as long as Lebanese territory is occupied. There is no occupied Lebanese territory. There's this whole nonsense argument created about Sheba Farms, which justifies Hezbollah. And Hezbollah doesn't operate under the government. It operates completely independent of the Lebanese government. They have their own independent foreign policy and whatever. So they have been completely removed. But why was it important to continue them? Because Iran does not have nuclear weapons. This was Iran's version of a temporary deterrent against Israel till the day Iran gets nuclear weapons. Because the threat always was, if Israel attacks Iran, we will use Hezbollah to attack Israel. That has now been removed. I don't know what kind of proxies Iran will use, but it will take at least 5 to 7 years for them to regroup, create a new command structure, communications, etc., etc. So for now, I would say the threat has abated. The escalation will not be vertical. It will be horizontal escalation along other sides. Finally, what should New Delhi do? Well, this is, one of those things where we really need to learn that you don't invest in technology, you invest in human beings. The biggest difference between India and Israel is India views technology as a substitute for human competence. Israel invests in human beings and believes that technology can only aid and assist a human being. That is the main lesson we need to learn here. But of course, intelligence sharing is one of the other important lessons.
Yes.
We should be firm on our counter-terrorism stance, because what has happened is essentially a counter-terrorism operation, be it against Hamas, be it against Hezbollah.
Okay. Daniel, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. We look forward to speaking to you again. And Abhijit, I'm just requesting your indulgence for another few minutes, as I want to break quickly an update that's coming in from here in India. This, remember, is a response that has come in from Mehbooba Mufti, who represents the PDP. Remember, there are elections in Jammu and Kashmir. Mehbooba Mufti takes to the social media, and allow me to quote what she says. She says, cancelling my campaign tomorrow in solidarity with the martyrs of Lebanon and Gaza, especially Hassan Nasrallah. She says, we stand with the people of Palestine and Lebanon in this hour of immense grief and exemplary resistance. Abhijit, your thoughts?
Crocodile tears. Because Hezbollah has killed a lot of Lebanese citizens as well. You raise your voice against Hezbollah, you protest against Hezbollah, you get killed. Hezbollah and Syria were possibly jointly behind the assassination of former Prime Minister Rafiq Hariri, which couldn't have been carried out without Hezbollah assets on the ground in Lebanon. But I'm not surprised this has come from Mehbooba Mufti, because this chief minister is essentially from a Sunni supremacist organization. On several occasions, her government banned the carrying out of the Muharram processions, citing security reasons. And sometimes when they were carried out, she never protected them from stone pelting and things like that. You can go back to your archives. You'll see several of these incidents happening under her. So I really don't take anything she has to say on this very seriously.
But does this also, Abhijit, somewhere tell us of the politics, the political inclination, I think, of a lot of these peoples? And I shudder to think, she was once in business with the BJP. You had a government in Jammu and Kashmir. And clearly, like it is said, these are people that have been called out, Abhijit, time and again.
Yes, absolutely. And, you can say that this is either the negative of the Indian system that prevents us from getting into a civil war, because everybody is sort of very... I won't say loose with their morals, but willing to compromise left, right and center in order to be in power. But this was not the character to be compromising with, because she has always been extremely dangerous. I would point out time and again that, just like the political wing of the terrorist IRA was the Sinn Féin, the religious wing of the Hizbul Mujahideen is the Jamaat-e-Islami, and the political wing is the PDP. This is an extraordinarily dangerous organization. I don't know why they're even allowed to contest elections and things like that. This is the same chief minister who ordered, first-time stone pelters to be given jobs. This is the same chief minister that had machine gun pickets removed from the centers of town and moved to the extremities and the peripheries, and so that militants could operate freely inside. I wouldn't touch her with a barge pole. I don't think people like this should be allowed in Indian polity. But, well, I mean, I don't run this country, so I can't do much about that.
Yes, a former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, and that tone and that stand. Abhijit, for the moment, I thank you for all your perspective and helping us decode, this entire politics. We also look forward to talking to you again as we'll continue to keep our eyes focused on that big story. For the moment,